Hey y'all, it's Allie. Happy National Scrapbooking Day. I am super excited to host a challenge over on the Spiegel Mom Scraps Facebook page. It's 15 minutes to scrap. I hope you guys are joining us. My challenge is a throwback challenge. So we're kicking it old school. And I am taking it back to 2005 when I graduated high school and bought my first car. So this is a photo of my dad and I in front of my new to me Jeep, and I wanted to host this challenge because I have a lot of older stories that I want to get told, and I typically don't do that. I stick to newer stuff with my kids and fun stuff like that, but I want my story and my husband's stories to be told as well for our children. So anyway, I had this patterned paper left over from a traveler's notebook spread that I had cut on the line, so it kind of gave this wave effect, and I thought it'd be really cool to utilize that in a layout. And so off camera, I was just seeing how these letters looked, and I didn't want to pick them all up again because they actually looked perfect. So I left them, but I just put my alphas along that wave line. So I've adhered this down, and I'm just going to add a couple strips of paint in black and white because I'm going with a color scheme that includes a lot of the black and white, but I love this green, and then I'm also going to add some oranges to this. And I was kind of inspired by the In Your Dreams sequin mix. It's got a lot of like blue and teal and orange, and it just looks really fun. So with mixed media, I kind of waver between super fussy, painting intricate limes with watercolors, and then also just slapping some paint on. And I like the way both looks, and I like doing both. So it just kind of depends on how I'm feeling. For this, I just wanted to slap some paint on. I'm using acrylic paint, and actually the black is acrytones from Shimmers, but those have been discontinued, so that's kind of a sad thing. But I just use a dry brush to kind of get the brush strokes in there. I kind of want it to look messy and painted on. And a bunch of this just gets covered up with my photo and embellishments, but it's just a fun thing to have on the background there. And it's just super fun to play around with it. So I'm going to use my heat gun here and dry it because I'm super impatient and I don't like waiting for paint to dry. This is actually the fastest layout I have made in a while. I'm typically like a medium scrapper. Like I don't take super long, but I'm also not very fast. But this one just felt like it came together really quickly. I knew where I wanted to go with this. So the layout is mostly about my Jeep. So I have the alphas that say they see me rolling, which I just thought was kind of silly and fun. But then I'm also going to add in that word sweet, and then with my alphas, ride. So I don't know about you, but I run out of things like E's very quickly, so I kind of have to improvise here. So I'm using an F, and then I'm going to cut the end of a Z off because I don't use a lot of Z's. I don't have a reason to. And I'm going to add it in to make my F an E. So that's just a super easy way to make your alphas stretch a little bit. So once I get this all down, the real fun begins with embellishments. And I use a couple of different things. I'm using some trinkets from the Freckled Fawn store. They just recently had a trinket sale, and I picked up a few things there. And then I'm also going to be using the Paige Evans sticker book that I recently got. And I'm just pulling out things like orangey things and green things to kind of match my color scheme. I love this little acetate frame. I got a whole package of acetate frames from Freckled Fawn, and they are super cool. So like I said, I'm just going to go through and pick out things that kind of match my color scheme, either black and white or the orange color like this word totally. And I play with the idea of putting it over the word sweet, but I kind of have a problem covering things up like that, so I end up putting it here at the top. So instead of just sweet ride, now we've got a totally sweet ride. And it really was a totally sweet ride. I loved my little Jeep. It was super cute. So here I've pulled out a little journaling sticker, and I really don't want to use it for that, but I do like the color because it goes with my color scheme. So I'm going to cut the edges off and use it as part of my layers underneath my photo. So I just pull up where I've already kind of stuck it down, and it comes up really easily with those tape runners. So then I can easily just slip it under where I want it. So I went a little wild with embellishing, as you can see. I don't always embellish this much, but it's really fun too. It's fun to add lots of different little details and add a lot of things that don't necessarily fit, but they fit because of the color scheme. So I've gone ahead and added some of my sequins already, and then I'm just going to kind of toss some up here in the corner, try to be as random as possible, and go ahead and glue those down as well. And then for a final sequin touch, I am going to go along that wave pattern again with a line of sequins. So I just use my fine liner bottle or tip on my bottle there, and I go and just add a little bit of glue and then line up my sequins right on the glue and keep doing that for the entire length of that wave. So then the last thing I do is I add some machine stitching and a couple of little thread nests here and there and some journaling along the edges, and then my layout is done. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys are playing along with all of our challenges in the 15 Minutes to Scrap Facebook group. See you guys there. Have a great day. And if you guys are going sequin shopping, don't forget to save 15% in the Spiegel Mom Scrap Store with the code ALLIE15.